Hey all, I'm going to miss you guys in class today, but I just wanted to show you what I'm expecting you guys to do today. So each of you will log into Canvas. So instead of us meeting through Zoom, you'll log into Canvas and you're going to click right down here, which is MBTI and Strong Assessment. So just as a reminder, today we're taking 2 assessments and I have the directions for both the Myers-Briggs and the Strong here. It's extremely important that you read the directions when taking the assessment so that you're in the right mindset when answering the questions. And we're going to click this link right here, which will take us to the assessment itself. And it will have us create an account. So it will have us create a personal account. So first you're going to put your name and your first name, last name, and your email. Any email is fine. It doesn't have to necessarily be your GCC email. And then let's create a password. So it tells you the password here needs to have at least 1 number, 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase letter, and 1 special character. So I'm going to create mine. And then it says I'm outside of the European Union and I'm at least 13 years old. So this would apply to most of you here. And then we'll click next. And then it's going to ask you to submit your phone number. And then identification question. So this is just a security question in case you need to log out and log back in. I'm going to maybe say my favorite color. And we'll say purple. And this is asking you here to agree to the terms and the policies. Click on register. And then we'll just wait for it to load. Okay, so it's still loading. Something should pop up right here in just a minute. Okay, awesome. So now it tells you here Molly's Fall 2020 Student Development 145 class. You're going to take both of these assessments. I would say to start with the Myers-Briggs, it takes about 20 minutes. And then second would be the Strong Interest Inventory. If we click on Start for the Myers-Briggs assessment, it'll ask you questions. What's your gender? Or what gender you identify with. And then we'll give you directions. And so the Myers-Briggs can be a little challenging for some students because it says sometimes the questions feel like they're putting you in a box. So it says your answers to the questions on this assessment will help show how you like to look at things and how you like to go about deciding things. There are no right or wrong answers. So let's go through a couple sample questions. So a lot of times students struggle with this assessment because it's putting them in a box. They might feel like I'm either this or that. So the first question, for example, says, when you go somewhere for the day, would you rather plan what you will do and when, or just go? And so this is kind of a tough question for some people. Some of you might know automatically. And sometimes I have students that say, well, both. Sometimes I like to plan, sometimes I like to go. So we want to answer this question. What do you feel like you do most of the time? Even if it's only maybe 51% of the time, what do you feel like you do most of the time? So the second question, if you were a teacher, would you rather teach fact-based courses or courses involving theory? So again, you kind of think about, would I rather teach things that are facts or things that are more theoretical? And again, lots of good questions. Number 5, do you usually get along better with imaginative people or people that are realistic? So again, you kind of get to decide the questions, and sometimes people struggle, but just kind of select one that you feel like you go with a little bit more than the other. And then you'll click through next. If you need to save it and come back, you can click save and complete later. So the assessment itself is pretty simple, but just make sure you complete both the Myers-Briggs and the Strong Interest Inventory. Just to show you really quickly the Strong Interest Inventory, this one is more questions. And this one is asking you about things that you have an interest in. So it says the Strong Interest Inventory is used to help you understand your work interests and to show you some kinds of work in which you might feel comfortable. The Strong is not a test of your abilities, it's an inventory of your interests. So when you're answering the questions, it tells you for each occupations listed, indicate how you would feel about doing that kind of work. Don't worry if you'd be good at it or if you have the training for it. Just if you might enjoy it. Don't think about the money you could make or whether you could get ahead. Think only about whether you would like to do that work. So, for example, accountant, you would rank how much you would like and enjoy that work. Actor, how much you would like or dislike doing that work. So again, make sure you read the directions so that we answer the questions properly. Again, both assessments should take you about an hour, maybe a little over an hour, depending on you. Try not to overthink each question. Take your time, but try not to overthink it and try to really go with your first instinct. Okay, see you guys next week.